I'm sure you know by now that the Occupy Wall Street movement is all over the world. At last count, it was on 5 continents in 82 countries and over 900 cities. That was the last count that I saw. And one of those cities is our own beloved Wilmington, Delaware. And we have one of the founders of the Occupy Delaware movement on the WILM Newsline, Liz Allen. You're familiar with Liz Allen. She calls in once in a while, but tonight she's our guest. And she stands ready for your questions and your comments if you have any regarding the Occupy Delaware movement. On the John Watson Show, we have lines available. 395-9456 on WILM News Talk. 395-9456 is how you do it. How you doing, Liz?
Hey, I'm doing well, John. How are you doing?
Thanks for being with us this evening. So, first of all, so how did Occupy Delaware, the movement, get started in Wilmington?
Well, remember that on September 17th, the Occupy Wall Street movement started, and it went viral on the Internet. And we had 2 groups here, Let My People Know Coalition and the Coalition for Community Organizations. And we started talking to each other about what could we do. So we decided to have a website, get people involved, and at the same time we were doing this, another group here in Delaware, have Occupy Delaware, were doing the same thing. They were getting on Facebook and they had their website going. So last Wednesday, we had a meeting of everybody, and people came up from Dover, from Sussex County. There were about, 100, 150 people in the room. And so it really just took off from there. We believe that this Occupy movement is really critical for America's future, because right now we're on a path that is disastrous. We've got these endless wars, torture, targeted killings, severe unemployment, loss of jobs, home foreclosures, bankruptcies, homelessness, and there's a huge disparity of income between the rich 1% and the 99%. For example, there's 50 million people that still have no health insurance in this country. There are students who have severe college debt, and their job prospects have diminished. We've got teacher layoffs. There's union busting going on. There's severe environmental degradation. Our infrastructure is deteriorating. And then we've got all these austerity measures and the cutting back of the safety net that's being placed on the back of the most vulnerable of our citizens by these deficit hawks in the House of Representatives and in some state houses. And what we do know is that some of them are underwritten and funded by these ultra-right-wing moneyed special interest PACs. And there's a lot of dysfunctional political theater and corrupted machinations in Washington that appears to be incapable of any real problem solving. They seem to be serving the plutocracy and the oligarchs while they're destroying the middle class and making our society increasingly one of like masters and serfs. Well, this system, we believe, has to be uprooted and discarded. And that's not going to happen in some kind of an overthrow or a coup or any of that.
No.
It's going to happen with peaceful, nonviolent people coming together, regular Americans coming together and saying, look, our system is flawed, it's dysfunctional, and it's incapable of being of and by and for the people.
So are you going to try and do what the Tea Party people did, get involved in politics so that you can maybe retake the House from the Republicans?
Yes. We have issues that are like national issues, like war and peace, and we have issues like that are Delaware-oriented, like are we going to have single-payer health care and campaign finance reform? Are we going to deal with reforming our prison system? Are we going to do something about the environmental problems? Are we going to find jobs for our people? There are a lot of issues that we're dealing with right here in Delaware that are separate from the issues, say, on a national level.
So then you're going to be dealing nationally and locally as well.
Yes. In fact, we are now hooked up with groups all over the country, and there's a group called Occupy Together, and actually they've got all of the groups in a database, And so we share information. When problems come up, we find out, well, what did this group do? How did they handle it? This kind of thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, it's...
so you learn from each other.
Exactly. But, we believe that we're past the point of minor reform, of tinkering and tweaking the current system. The time has come now.
Well, how much of a new... You said you're through with messing with the current system. Are you saying you want... so what do you want to do with the current system? You want a different system? And if so, what would it look like?
Well, what we want is to bring this country back to we the people, not we the corporation. We are standing solid on our Constitution. And that Constitution says, we the people, for the people, by the people.
Yeah.
And for the last 30 years or so, the people in this country really have not had a voice. Our elected officials are catering to the ones that give them large campaign donations, and when they take a vote, they're voting with the ones that, paid them to vote that way. So we've been left out completely. So what we're just going back to the original Constitution that the founders gave us.
Yeah.
We the people, and these elected officials work for us. We don't work for them. And so they have to decide which side they're going to be on. Are they going to be with the people and doing the people's business, or are they going to continue taking money from these super PACs and political PACs and doing the bidding of corporate America?
395-9456 is how you do it if you'd like to participate. And we're talking with Liz Allen, one of the founders of Occupy-Delaware. Occupy-Delaware.com, and that'll take you to the website. Is that the idea?
That's correct.
Right, and we'll continue in a moment.